Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. Watch party and reactions. Obviously, Tyler can't make it tonight. For those who are wondering, he's kind of not feeling it right now. He's probably going to just sit back and watch it his own right. But like I said, I'll hold it down for this 3-hour show. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you coming in as well. So hopefully this should be an interesting episode of Monday Night Raw. Hopefully, I want to try to get more people on. So it'll be interesting to see for tonight. And also, shout out to everyone who actually came out last night for NXT Vengeance Day 2024 with myself and Mal Gooley. Shout out to everyone who actually tuned in and actually interacted in the chat and stuff like that. I gotta say, NXT last night was actually a pretty good event. Wasn't great, but But I enjoyed it. Enjoyed that event. But obviously, like I said, there was a lot of some sloppy stuff. Especially that opening tag match for the Dusty Rhodes Classic final. Well, maybe that's just me. But obviously, now we're gonna see if Braun Breaker decides to. It's gonna be, but not at WrestleMania. And this is where it all. All too well, yes. And for those who joined me on SmackDown, you know how my reactions are. And that, my friends, for those who have been around or has been on the channel, especially tuned in on this past Friday night on SmackDown, my reaction pretty much said it all, and I was kind of, I would say, a bit aggravated. But we'll see how this really plays out between the two. Even though, like, you could. My only gripe with this is you should have just had Roman drop the belt, and then you could have had this match for this year's WrestleMania. Playing a goddamn simple. It should be easy, plain and simple for that. But okay, we're kicking off with Seth freaking Rollins live from St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm intrigued. All right, okay, so obviously with the knee brace on, obviously Seth kind of has a busted up knee. So that's going to be interesting to see. And Seth Rollins. An interesting wardrobe choice for this week for Raw. He's been a champion for 254 days. I mean, like I said, I'll give him credit where credit is due. But at the same time, I know a lot of people just have not see their issues, but you want to see somebody new hold the damn thing. Guys should be guys like Drew McIntyre, which, for those who. He is hurt, but for some reason, knowing him and how stubborn he can be, I think he's gonna avoid getting surgery to repair his knee. Going into WrestleMania, because I mean, who doesn't want to miss out on the biggest event of the year, and especially in the city of brotherly love, for that matter? Which, if the tickets were so fucking expensive, I would definitely would go. That's for sure. But that's here nor there. But I think Seth is definitely dropping the belt at Mania, and after that, we're going to see him be written off TV for a while to get that knee fixed up. Hopefully, if they're going to go. Yeah, the old cliche bullshit that we've seen this since what? from what I remember since 1999. And who knows how long? Well, then again, this show dates back to 1993. Could have been non-existent in between 93 and 95. What's going on, Chad? What's going on, man? And there's the booze. And now, you got a section of the fans. Well, like I said, take that out to his wife Becky Lynch, for that matter. Oh yeah, let's be fucking honest. Like, there was no reason to. Even though, let's be fucking honest, from a booking standpoint, like, we don't need to see Cody and Seth part 4. I'm sorry, but look, I like these two guys, but I don't think that if we get this at Mania, I'm done. I'm not going to boycott WWE, but it makes me want to question why. Because here's the thing, like, we don't need to see a part 4 between these two guys, because Cody Rhodes just won all three of his matches against Seth Rollins when Cody came back. But maybe that's just me. Well, we'll see how this really plays out. But shout out to the Sixons. Whoa! And good old pyro budget already out the fucking window. Well, no shit, Michael Cole. At the same time, we've seen that has anybody not paid? Look, I know social media is not the most healthiest thing in the world, but the good grief. Oh my God. Okay, USA, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, USA, you're really starting to piss me off tonight. I'm not having this. Not. Well, besides that, but at least Cena Orton knows how to put on a match better than anybody, because at that time, because outside of Randy and Cena and Orton, like, you really didn't have that much to follow up with, for that matter. Yeah, and then we're going back to the same feud that was, I felt like, was a one-off between Cody and Shinsuke, which you could have done. That could have been so much more, because I think that would have been an interesting feud to look at. Let's hope so, because so what do you want to talk? Who is? So what do you want to talk about? We know how this goes each and every week when Cody's on TV. We know this. And obviously the cliche, like, the play on this, welcome to Monday Night Raw, get rid of that. I'm sorry, but that's just one of the dumbest cliches for the last, from when I remember, the last 25, 26 years as a fan. And now we got the Rocky Sucks chant. I kind of feel like we're. Well, that's true as well, there, Pat. That's for sure. Among the little booze, it's gonna get one of these. Here's the. I want to say this too because I know. I'm sorry if anybody, because I know if you guys can hear this. Well, the thing is, too, Cody doesn't need. Well, I for I hope not, because let's be real. I don't think he's really that's the kind of belt he wants. Hey, okay. Okay, this is gonna get interesting. And we got Drew, and another guy that who still needs, who for some reason just can never, hasn't really got. I would say be back in the. Yeah, yeah, and we're going back to that. Oh no! Oh my god! Not. Oh, that's just fucking petty. True, but at the same time, we've seen this same song and dance before. Is there WrestleMania 30? Anybody? The Yes Movement, for crying out loud. You got the crowd's hijacking the shows. I mean, Drew is right. Cody did earn it, but well, it's true. But at the same time, oh, good lord, you're. Oh, that's yo. Yeah, well, that's true as well. I mean, I'm not gonna. There you go, Glasgow Kiss. Okay, so that's kind of how you're going to kick it off with Drew with the Glasgow Kiss to Seth and Cody almost whipping some ass. Okay, I see how that is. Now, cutting back to which I will say, Cade and Katana should never lost the damn belts, anyways. But coming up next, we have the Fatal Four Way Tag Team Championship qualifier to get the New Day, DIY, Imperium, and the Creed Brothers coming up next on Monday Night Raw. That takes a quick commercial and obviously little highlights from last night's NXT Vengeance Day. Not exactly. Well, that depends on who who puts the shows together is where that really does depend. But what are you gonna do? But at the same point, but shout out to the five though. Like I said, this is like the first time. Like this is gonna be like the first time in a very long time in terms of the channel wise. That I'm going to be doing Raw Raw tonight, and obviously Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday. by myself because usually you've seen a lot with Tyler with me as well most of the time, but obviously Tyler says I think it's going to go to one of those burnout phases. So kind of, and obviously I'm going to have Gully with me tomorrow night for NXT, which is basically the fallout. It's definitely going to look like going to be not say a perfect show, but I think it's going to be a good show, which they always do on a weekly basis. Like I said, there's going to be certain improvements that need to be made. Um, just from the writing standpoint, which I know Sean has gotten better at with this creative team, but I just think NXT could be a lot better than what we're showing or that are showing each and every week. And now, yes, what I think what's going to help benefit NXT is that they're moved to the CW, and not a lot of people because a lot of people, well, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting though to see NXT on the CW, which, like I said, it's been like, how do I explain this? NXT when I first got back into it, I was kind of very hit and miss with it. And yes, you could also put the blame on the. But well, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow night. That's for sure. But obviously, hopefully, if one of those, if whatever segment we're going to get tomorrow night, I hope we'll hear from Carmella Hayes explaining himself. But like I said, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun. With you guys when you guys hang out with me and Gully tomorrow night. Wednesday might be a little bit hit and miss this week. Not probably not going to do anything. In terms of streaming this week. We're out of a commercial break, and now we have all teams in the ring. Actually, so we're waiting for the last team, which is the New Day, which is Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So the only two teams I can see the only one team I don't see probably not see winning this match is probably the New Day because we've seen them win too much. See them win. Let's be real. They've held the tag team gold many times. I don't think they should be in the. I mean, they should be still active in the title picture, but not like winning any tag team gold for the future. I mean, you'll see the fact you got guys, the team like the Creed brothers, which are tag team championship material. Imperium, they got to do better with. But then again, who am I to say? Bell's already rung. It looks like we're gonna have Champa and Xavier Woods kind of starting this off with. And it's still a little bit. Obviously, New Day still over. Yeah, well, numbers. Nice little springboard crossbody. 1, 2, no. Of course, USA decides to fucking buffer on me, that would be fucking great. Leave me off the ropes. Nice little drop into a leapfrog. And Kofi just showing off now. And eats a boot from Ciampa. And Vinci makes the tag. And eats a right by Ciampa. And dude, the Creed, like I said, I've always liked the Creed brothers, even when during the time of NXT, because there was just something about them that just I don't know. It's not saying it's weird. It's kind of hard to explain the Creed brothers in a nutshell, basically. Um, but the Creed brothers, let's be real, they pretty much got the it factor for me in terms of, for this tag division, which, and I will be honest, has been lacking for a while. Like tag team wrestling in the WWE nowadays, it's kind of been forgotten in a certain sense, where you have teams like Imperium. I really hope this company will do something with them. Obviously, the New Day, they've been well accomplished. I mean, you also got the Creed brothers making their come up from NXT, which have been putting up some really, they always know how to put on good matches for that matter. They pretty much got everything. And I see them actually hopefully win tag team gold on the main roster at some point. Yeah, you know what? That's a very good comparison, because that's kind of the way the team see the Steiners I can see because of the strength. How the team angle, I can see the team angle aspect of it, but I mean it's going to be interesting though. See where that goes from there. Um, but knowing me, and obviously for those who have seen the It's Running podcast about a few hours about it, well, not that long ago, it's this week has not really been great in terms of cover or news or wrestling news coverage. But at the same time, we had to get the biggest monkey off our, or the biggest elephant in the room out of the way. Was the Raw kind of bullshitting his way to WrestleMania? God, I'm about to sneeze really quick. Oh my god. Feels like I got a sneeze coming up, but I just can't let it out. And obviously with boring ass commercials, but I mean, look, NXT, yeah, for me, the way I can explain NXT obviously the last few weeks I've done it. I know I've been out for a couple, been out of the loop for a couple of weeks because obviously, like I said, I had to take care of a lot of personal problems. Well, not personal problems, but personal stuff. Obviously, was working a lot too, and obviously just never really had to make the time for it. So I just pretty much just took a break from NXT for a bit. Obviously, got back at it again last night with Vengeance Day, and yes, and also had to watch the replay the last couple of weeks on Peacock just to get myself caught up because of what I missed the last 2 weeks. Which from my mind, I don't like that, but knowing I have other personal obligations to take care of, but that kind of came into play. But we are back. The fact we didn't even get a lot of the entrances before the first commercial break, and all the teams coming in, and I got a nice little stomp to lower back from Kaiser. Looks like Julius actually wants to tag in, or looking for a tag. And Kofi, a couple of body shots, and eats a mean back elbow to the back of the head. And a little Irish whip into the corner. Nice little athleticism. And takes down Kaiser. And Julius, man, already bouncing on the bottom rope, waiting to get the tag in. And of course, oh my God. And at the same time, oh my fucking God, here we go. I am sorry, guys. I am having a lot of fucking technical problems tonight. So obviously missed a slingshot spear. Oh God, a back elbow. Into a inverted sliced bread and Kurt. One of the nicest. I don't blame you for one bit on that because, like I said, wrestling in 06, like I said, yeah, wrestling. Obviously, the wrestling in 06 for me, for someone who's been there, who's been a wrestling fan since 1999, it was a really weird period. Well, for those who are, especially for ECW guys or the ECW people that I know, yeah, it was a bit wonky. But I don't think that's a hot take. It's getting to that point where I think The Rock, I think, deserves the hate he does get for all the right reasons. Now, as we talked about in the show, for the Trinity podcast, the one thing I don't, oh, nice little Tope Suicida from the second rope from Gargano, but yeah, apparently say he's still the people's champion, and a lot of I'd never really, for someone who's actually watching him in the Attitude Era, like that was some of his best work he's done. But the problem I had with him is, if you go back to say from 01, from I like to you, I know you say you got been wrestling in since 2006. But I remember back in 2000, 2001, and Meantime, we talked about this too. Like when he got just straight up and left for Hollywood, that rubbed people a lot of and rightfully so, rubbed them the wrong way. And I know a lot of, and it's kind of crazy too. A lot of fans say, "Oh, we're going to be like they're hypocrites because we said the same about John Cena." But John Cena did it the right way. Like he waited till he slowly transitioned into a Hollywood star. Unless we're putting on some pretty good movies, but other than the Marine, man, we don't know how that really turned out. But we're not going to go over that. But I think Johnson did it the right way. That I think The Rock should have done it, and we wouldn't have this conversation. But The Rock did what he wanted to do, and obviously nowadays hasn't really put on let's throw what a decent to an okay movie since The Walking Tall, for my honest opinion. But then again, maybe that's just me who's seen The Rock countless times. And then the fact can say, oh, we're going to come back in 03. But I mean, take it from me, for someone who's been, like I said, I really haven't seen him in the heydays, that sort of thing, like in 1996 when he was like that blue chipper, babyface, ridiculous nonsense that he was going through. Well, like I said, but the Rock's just one of those things. It's like as charismatic as he is, but it's just like, what does he really have to offer? You know. But then again, for me as a kid through the Attitude Era, was just man. I like I said, I wouldn't even really complain because well, it was the Rock in the Attitude Era, and that's the reason why with him leaving Hollywood, that really fucked everything up, and rightfully so. That kind of really made me lose some respect from him. And now, what he pulled, what the shit we saw on this past Friday night on SmackDown, that made me just even lost more respect for the damn dude. And obviously, what he's done, and I know yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are hating of what he's done or what he hasn't done, for that matter, which I'm not really going to get into because, like I said, I don't speak about politics and all this other nonsense with him. But I just don't think The Rock. Let's be honest, this company will be better off without The Rock. Because I'm sorry, but that's just me. Look, call me harsh, but it's the truth. Like, do we even really need The Rock at this point in 2024? No, we don't. But yet, the fact that TKO, which, no, granted, I'm granted that TKO is the new owners, but the fact you had to override Triple H because, because let's be real, Triple H already had a plan in place for that. And at the same time, what was the fucking point of Cody winning the Rumble if you're going to have The Rock and Roman at Mania? Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It legitimately fucking doesn't. I don't know, man. Oh, nice little back body drop taking out. A nice, oh god, nice little stiff knife edge chop across the chest of Vinci on the second. Oof. Oh man, we got it. One, two, no. Well, just yeah. Well, here's the thing too. I've seen Triple H do. A lot of people don't really talk. I don't think you're really missing a bunch, but I don't know. Look, I don't know if hang on. I'm trying to think of something right now. Oh god, multiple stomps. Yeah, obviously Hogan and WCW. That was we all knew that was him and WCW and Hogan was going to be a disaster waiting to happen, and obviously it showed. And then WCW closing its doors in 2001 because nice little discus clothesline from Ludwig Kaiser and Xavier Woods. Oh, nice little gut buster, I guess you could call it. Oh, for sure, XQY. I'm sorry, like I said, and Cody, I think Cody said this back in 2016. Yeah, the McMahon's. Well, here's the thing too. It's kind of now. Obviously, part of that didn't really age too well. Well, it really didn't age well, but when you look back at it, yeah, I mean the McMahon's always hated. Yep, exactly. A lot of people go back to that WrestleMania, or what could have been a WrestleMania main event, which was Cena and Punk, which would have been very fantastic. And Punk, like I said, Kingston gets caught, and guys, over the belly suplex by Julius. I'm sorry, that's Brood. Yeah, and Brood is getting got a sleeper. Okay. So Julius catches the leg, and nice. Thing is, too, Damien, we don't know what the fuck is going on, and all hell pretty much breaking loose in the middle of the ring. But yeah, I mean, Rock, Politics, and Punk, we got robbed of that because The Rock wants to be the center of the fucking attention, And going back to your thing, Frostbite 17 with Triple H and I don't want to say Triple H. Well, Triple H, to an extent, he did. When we really look, obviously Triple H back in '99 is probably the most infamous example of him being a major politicker, for that matter. It should be. Don't get me wrong. I agree. But again, that's going back to my point. With The Rock button in, and if there's no. But like I was saying before, I completely had a freaking brain for it. But yeah, that's what it should have been in the main event. But if I say, oh, we should have had this for years. It's like, first of all, what does the. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. Triple H, actually, I take that back with Triple H in '99 because the dude was just a complete asshole at that point and really didn't start becoming to what we know him at back in 2005 when he actually made a star in Batista. But with this old guard bullshit, I agree. Because you had Goldberg in the Fiend, and boy, that was a disaster. And as you said, Punk and that 1, 2. So DIY, honestly, I got no issues with that one with DIY. So DIY wins the second match here on Raw. Because here's the thing, because if it was Triple H making that decision, oh yeah, we would be all Triple H's ass. But apparently, from my understanding, it was it was coming from TKO. So TKO overridden pretty much Triple H, because Triple H is the kind of guy that would still follow through the original plan, which was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Unfortunately, TKO decides to make the mistake of putting The Rock on the board, and Rock using his political power, which the dude should not even fucking have. The dude has not wrestled like an actual match since 2013. And let's the dude's put out some crappy movies along after that too. That's all I'm going to say on that. But this Friday on SmackDown, it'll be DIY taking on Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate for the number one contendership to take on the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. But like I said, I'd agree. Yeah, we're getting that on SmackDown this Friday night. So that's going to be fun. And like I said, I'm glad that they actually finally got rid of the Butch gimmick. I really, like I said, we hope so. Because here's the thing. Like, this is kind of like the Yes Movement all over again. Because remember, we're supposed to have, was it Batista and Orton at WrestleMania 30? Then you had Daniel Bryan, who at the time was probably one of the hot baby faces at that point. And that really threw a monkey wrench into everything. And Vince was hesitant to push him because obviously he doesn't stand like a certain height and a certain weight. And, it was just a complete, and the fans hijacked the shows, and which forced Vince to say, oh, let's just push him. That's kind of what I'm getting out of this. But as you said, XQY, if we don't get that, then I don't know what else is next for Cody, other than, continue to put up with these stupid ass side quest bullshit they're putting them in. Because for me, I've always said, I think he's really regretting leaving AEW for that matter. But then again, I know that may not sit with a lot of people, but then again, Drew also see the thing is too XUY, and I think I might have touched on this, but this is what people really fucking wanted for years is to see the head of the table, Roman Reigns, taking on his cousin at a WrestleMania event. Because here's the thing. You could have had this. Look, on paper, yeah, this would have been a nice main event. Had WWE pulled the trigger last year with Cody dethroning Roman Reigns for the damn belt. That's where my issue lies. Because for those who have not seen WrestleMania 39, that match was actually going smoothly, and they could have pulled the trigger right then and there with Cody. Don't get me fucking wrong with that. And then you also set this, and then at the same time with the Rock and stuff like that. Yeah, we could have had this a different conversation, a top of a conversation with the Rock. Because I think I would have liked to see Rock and Roman the timing was fucking bullshit. Don't get me wrong. The timing was bullshit. Like I said, and that's going back to my point what I made earlier. Had WWE pulled the trigger with Cody at WrestleMania 39, the timing with The Rock and Roman for WrestleMania, this year's WrestleMania, would have been fine. We would have no complaints about it because it's going to be, because for one thing, because like I said, I'm not fluent in Samoan history for that matter. Because, well, like I said, I've never really study up on it, but we talked about the Stardom layups. I don't know what the Stardom things there, Damien. Like, it's really because, like I said, me and Tara, we don't really cover much of Japan type of wrestling because let's be real. By the time and Stardom is one of those companies, it's hard to catch on a weekly basis. And one of the things is, well, there's a lot of things that were going was messy with that. You had Rossi Ogawa, who was the founder of Stardom, who's also got fired because he was quote unquote or accused of being quote unquote poaching talent. But I do think we're going to see a lot of talent leave Stardom. But in terms of the talent leaving Stardom, I think there is. I think some are going to go to New Japan. I do think, I mean, one name in particular, I think could potentially go to WWE, and that's Julia. Like I said, I'm not really familiar on like Stardom wrestling. So if anybody has any questions for me about that, like it's going to be hard for me to answer, but here's the thing, I agree to an extent, but I think Shayna needs more. Like she's another one that I think and that's where my problem lies, especially with this women's division. This women's division is kind of weak, compared to SmackDown. But look, I don't know, man. The last fucking week has been because he's 30, I think 37. But there's the thing too, like Drew at 37 can still perform at a high level, and so can Becky. I mean, there's like not compared to eight. Look, I might bash here at AEW a little bit, but have you seen? Well, AEW when you look at their like I said, I'm not going to do the math on it, but you got guys who are well past their primes. Guys like Sting, we all know he was retiring. And Drew, and like I said, guys like Drew, who is 37, with and probably others. I'm probably forgetting right at the top of my head. Like that considered their primes, and trust me, I've seen where. Now, yeah, seeing John Cena wrestle, I think at 47, it's a bit clunky to say the least. But maybe that's just how I've seen it. But at the end of the day, and yes, for those who are wondering, I'm going to watch the replay for Elimination Chamber because let's be real, by the time that event starts, I'm already be at work by then. Yeah, well, The Rock's 51, and the dude, man, let's be real, he's on the fucking roids. There's that you can't tell me that's not a natural body, but that's besides the point. The Rock at 51, let's be real. Or when was the last 2011? When he was in his late 40s, like the fact he tore his abductor muscle at his late 40s should tell you otherwise. The dude doesn't have it, and at the same time, the dude's fucking injury prone as shit. That's just me. Nice little standing side headlock. Now it's a waist lock from Becky Lynch. Nice little counter into a nice little takedown. Amateur wrestling takedown. Okay, try to go for the disarmer early. No, nice little roll through by Shayna. Okay, so a little bit of a feeling out between these two women. It's like Karafuda. No, nice little pin. 1, 2, no. Only a 2 count from Shayna. And that's the one thing you don't want to do against someone like Shayna is go trade submission. No, yes. Before they really fucked up with her, before they like changed her to like her gimmick to like these like a knockoff vampire, like biting people and shit like that, which I never understood why, and that really ruined it for me from her. And it's not because I didn't hate her, but it's just it really brought her value down significantly. And like I said, NXT Black and Gold is going to be my era in terms for NXT. But even this new version of NXT, I've been interested. Like I said, there's some improvements I really hope we can see be made. Obviously, hopefully try to go to different arenas instead of the damn Performance Center. Like let the look, getting your PLEs out to arenas, especially for NXT, is one thing. But if you're going to have your weekly television just in the Performance Center, I'm sorry, but it just does not have the same feeling as, like, say, if you see like a Raw or a SmackDown in arenas. That's just kind of my gripe on that. But I like what they have down there in terms of both the men's and women's division, even the tag division as well. Now and obviously nice little stomp, got to the wrist of. Oh, we're seeing some pain from that. But at the same time, and I'm going to be intrigued. But I mean, like I said, shout out to anyone that actually is finding this for the first time here on YouTube or Twitch, for those who are wondering. And also check us out on Twitter as well. Like I say, we're coming from my Twitter account, which is Sports YT, and also my buddy Tyler's. Like I said, all that's linked in the description, and mostly in the link tree as well. Like I said, but I greatly appreciate anyone coming in because, well, here's the thing with the NFL. Like I said, and I appreciate the all topic, but the NFL wants to try to get more international fans. That's my guess, but I don't know, man. I legitimately don't know. But like I said, we'll see how that plays out in 2024. But I legitimately don't really know at this point. But one of those things. That's well. But like I said, a Friday football game, that doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, we have seen countries that are ahead of us you have Australia, who I think is correct me if I'm wrong, they're like almost a day ahead of us. Because I think the last couple, and I really haven't touched on this because I know a couple content creators who are from the land down under. So and shout out Shout out to my boy Afakazi Raider, who's a good one that I've collaborated with. Yeah, they're about like almost a day ahead of us here in the States. And I don't know, but I don't know how Brazil's going to really take it. But I mean, no, yeah, like I said, right? Like I said, and for those who are here, you guys need to make sure to like, subscribe, all that, and definitely share this out too. Like, get some more eyes on as well. Like I said, we'll do some, like I said, like because with these watch parties, yeah, we'll do some like live play by play and commentary, kind of like how you see. Right now we're at the first women's elimination chamber qualifier. Right now you had DIY win the tag team qualifier match, and now you're at the women's elimination chamber qualifier right now, and we're just coming out of commercial as well with Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler. Winner of this match goes on to eliminate to claim a spot in the chamber for the women's division, for the women's side. And Becky ducks the close. I'm sorry, ducks the close. A nice little shoulder tackle. Obviously, working that injured elbow. Oh, nice little splash into the corner. And of course, fucking USA's production decides to pull it, like somehow stop at the. We got Baszler. Okay, now doing some little joint, try to go old joint manipulation, and going to try to stomp the elbow in. The injured arm, and the stomp. Nobody home. And Becky tried to go for the manhandle slam. No, right. Well, here's the thing. The Sammy thing. That's a very good question. The Sammy thing kind of really drew out like the last 3 to 4 weeks, because obviously I think it was like was it Raw or SmackDown where he kind of brought up the dudes. It was kind of like a one-off thing with Sammy, because here's the thing. I would not mind Drew. And yes, I know that. Hear me out, because I think there's a lot of other guys I see here on Monday Night Raw, and I've got the Disarmer. No, but like I was saying before, there's a possibility, because here's the thing: CM Punk had to go through the exact same shit back in 2011. Good grief, it's been that fucking long. Good grief, I'm getting old. But then again, I can't really say much, because, well, I'll be 27 next month. So at the end of next month. So for those who are wondering, but we'll see if that rumor does come through. Because if not, well, that's a bit disappointing. But I really do think that is. Oh, nice little knee. 1, 2, no. Oh, just somehow got the shoulder up. And I know that's not going to sit well with Shayna Baszler, with Liv Morgan looking on. Some different switches between the two. Oh, a nice inverted. 1, 2, no. Kick out at 2 by Shayna Baszler. I mean, a tough cookie there. So, I mean. And Becky kind of try to get the crowd riled up. Even though, let's feel the crowd. I think, for me, the reason why I've like Liv more, because I mean, obviously she's a Jersey girl and whatnot. I've liked what she has done, even though, yes, in the days of the Riot Squad, even though, let's be real, weren't the best, in my honest opinion. But currently, I mean, outside of Liv Morgan is Rhea. Exactly. Actually, why I 100% agree. I mean, it gets to, yeah, because I mean, because here's the thing, because I mean, well, I know no Baszler, he almost gets tossed out. It was, yeah, Rhea. Because here's the thing, because when I first kind of got to know her, I think in 2018 at the Mae Young Classic, where she was like this happy-go-lucky blonde. It's like, for me, look, there's just certain wrestlers that just something doesn't fit with them. And true, RC, yeah. Well, the thing is, too, SmackDown's one of those brands. It's like, well, it depends on who you're asking. Now, I will say SmackDown has much of a better women's division with Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and like I said, I'll give Rhea a lot her due, because I'm like, she's done everything she can in this what I would consider a weak women's division. And now I go for a cross arm breaker, obviously with an S grip by Shayna to avoid. No. And Baszler, nice little counter. Go gut wrench into a face first gut. 1, 2, no. So another near fall. And I know that's gonna piss and already a little trash talking from Shayna Baszler. Oh. Yeah, obviously both women trading slaps back and forth. And like I said, the Damian boy, here's the thing. I don't have my mixed feelings with Damian being Mr. Money in the Bank, but the constant teasing of the cash in is starting to wear thin with me, because he's got what July of this year to cash in, because if not, I think he may be the first to actually not cash in by the time it expires. 1, 2, 3, and Becky Lynch claimed to be the first competitor in the Women's Elimination Chamber match in Perth, Australia. Which, by the way, too, I'm actually kind of glad to see WWE's PLEs going overseas. I thought Money in the Bank in the UK was actually pretty good, especially in London, and obviously Clash of the Castle too was great. Even though, let's be real, I was kind of never the big fan of how they debuted Solo on the main roster. I know I might be I'm probably like a very few in that minority that just never really was impressed by that Solo's debut. Because I've seen him down at NXT a ton. I know what he can do. But just how he debuted on the main roster, I don't know, it just was weak. But now we cut back to Kathy Kelly, kind of going to have some words from Liv Morgan. I mean, shit, we just seen that. We've seen that a ton there, RC. We've seen that a few times, actually. Obviously, over the years. I mean, Baron Corbin is probably the most infamous example who got it. And honestly, if I was okay, so the thing was, which makes a lot of sense, because Rhea, who's obviously, I've really liked what she has done, especially with this women's division. But at the same time, the story also, honestly, if I had the prediction for the women's elimination year, it has to be got to be Liv Morgan, because it really makes a lot of sense to have Rhea and Liv Morgan going at it one-on-one, because, well, let's be real, Rhea put her out of action for a while with that injured shoulder. And yeah, that show in the past weekend. Let's be real. And let me the bull rope match. But man. Mm. I would no see Nia Jax for me. She's well. That's the thing. Well, she may be a well. I don't think. Well, that's kind of a bit of a gray area with her, and at times, well, not really say. Well, Nia Jax is obviously in that little gray area, and at times, I would say she was not considered a part timer, but there are times you'll see, they might not have nothing for her. Ex- See, and going back to what I said earlier, that all stems from when Vince took over this company. I think in the early '80s, he had a set of standards like, oh, you have to be like a certain amount of like I would say over the 6 foot mark. At the same time, you got to be at least 250 to almost north of 300. Big meaty guys basically, and it's really hard to well, not trying to make it sound really you know, dirty or anything, but that's kind of what Vince was all about. Never really cared for tag wrestling, which, by the way, it's kind of been slightly in shambles a little bit. Kind of fucked up making those women's tag team title belts, by the way, which we all know. That's kind of been the dead horse that they've been beating around for like what 15, 20 times, give or take. Um, and this will send it back too. For those who go back to WrestleMania 30, like Daniel Bryan was not supposed to be the main event of WrestleMania and would take the belt right off her. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think who was the champion coming into that. Probably been Orton, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was Orton. And what? And that also brought on the popularity because of that. And that's where I think with Cody's kind of in that similar situation. Hopefully that's the case with kind of what Daniel Bryan had to go through, white hot baby face, and that sort of thing too. Because my original thought was if you're going to like say do this, kind of go reference that John Cena on kind of that storyline he had to go through, and actually get back in and win the entire. But maybe that's just how I'm looking at things. Because, like I said, I try to be very subjective on how I look at things, especially from the pro wrestling, and for the professional wrestling landscape. Because, like I said, I don't know the as much as I love the Undertaker, I think he stayed 1 year too long than I would have liked, and you can tell like his body hasn't really what he used to be, and go back to that Mania match with Brock, which I, ugh, which I knew, like the finish, we all knew. I think it was going to happen, but at the end, he had to get rushed to the hospital because I'll be with concussion. Like I said, the Undertaker, and see that's why I will constantly respect the Undertaker for what he's done the last 3+ decades in this business. It's actually learned how to put, no good talent knows how to put him over when the time is ready, that sort of thing. And obviously, the dude knows Let's Bro can adapt to any gimmick that you can give him, whether it's from the Dead Man himself or the American Badass, Big Evil. If anybody remembers that one. Um, but that's just me. And like I said, I'm just like I've been a fan for over 20 years since I was 2 years old, and I'm going to be going on. I'll be 27 come March 28th. I've been a fan for the last 25 years of most of my really good portion of my life surrounded with professional wrestling, mostly WWE for most of that part, and until AEW came along. Same with WCW, bits and pieces of ECW in 06. He did. Don't get me wrong. He did. I will agree with that. The Undertaker did yeah, Undertaker, I will say, has aged a lot better than Kane because Kane just let himself fucking go. Looks like somebody pissed off Rhea today. Like, damn. And yeah, Bailey picking Io Sky that was kind of obvious because we're going to see it hopefully. And like I said, I cannot wait for that when that payoff. I wouldn't say that. It's just Kane's just one of those guys after his obviously 2003 when he made it, and then when he made his third run. I think it might have been the third run. I don't know how many runs. Of course, something. Damn, man, Rhea kind of being ferocious. Well, here comes Naya. Oh my lord, USA, Jesus Christ. And Nia Jax. Oh, damn. Here's how we're eating. Giving some ass whooping, I guess. Kurt Angle, I would say I've always been a fan of Kurt Angle because I liked his backstory. Because crazy enough, look, I was born in '97, so I never got. I've watched his documentary, and I know he's been through a lot of shit. I mean, obviously, for those who remember the old TNA days when he was Perk Angle, you knew he was on something because, and obviously, wrestled with a broken freaking neck, and we all know how that story goes. But I think he had a really awesome backstory. Originally not. It's kind of funny because when I read his story about that, because the first go around, he was never interested in becoming a professional wrestler, but just stick with the amateur style. And The second go around, really showed what he can do. Kind of got on the WWE's radar or WWF at the time before they made that change. But Kurt Angle, I've always enjoyed because the dude pretty much had everything. He had the it factor, charisma, good mic skills. Well, obviously the ring skills we all knew, because obviously with his amateur wrestling background, which really helped him out. And that's kind of for me. And for me, and with some of the, and yes, Kurt Angle is one of those guys. It's hard to replicate, and I know they're trying to do it with Gable Stevenson, and that's failing terribly. And Gable, he just stinks, and I know, and Ray, and it's for me, and I was always enjoyed Ray during my time as a wrestling fan. And Ray, obviously, he's up in those categories with Kurt. Well, Mark Henry pretty much is, from my understanding, he didn't really, well, the way Mark Henry did that, nowadays he's actually retired. But RC, I disagree with that. It to an extent, I disagree. Because like I said, Kurt Angle is just one of those guys, like, it's very hard to replicate because he had it really all. Chad Gable is getting there. It's going to be baby steps with him. Like I said Gable Stevenson is the one that I don't know why WWE thought that was a good idea to make him the next Kurt Angle. Because let's be real, in terms of, from what I remember, especially from the Ruthless Aggression era, when you have guys like Kurt Angle at the peak, well, yeah, obviously more of his peak. You had Rey Mysterio, who continues to doesn't really look like he's aging, even though he's up there in age, which is kind of crazy. But then again, that's kind of also wearing the mask most of the time. Look, it's a comedy act. We all it's a comedy act at the end of the day. But when you look at Gable wrestle as a singles competitor, the dude can handle himself in the ring with the best of the best. Well, let's be real. He put up two good solid matches with Gunther, as the next as a potential challenge. Well, as that at the time, his challenger for the IC title at the time. But Gunther's not Gunther, but that's just me. But later in the night, we get I'm sorry, these belts gotta die. I'm sorry, but that's just me. I want these damn women's tag team belts just to fucking die. Shoot, I like Alpha Academy. As much as they're a comedy act, but Tozawa, man, I'm kind of 50-50 on. And I'm glad that they got Maxine Dupree away from that maximum male model bullshit that we're going with. Well, God, it's always like seemed to me every week's either Alpha Academy or depends on who's actually that's going to wrestle. But it's going to be interesting, though. But outside of that, man, it's been one hell of a week, to say the least, with but I'll say, like I said, I'm glad. Let's be real. I'm credit and as well. Shout to the Australian fan base or the group that we get who do see this our content as well. Which, like I say, we greatly appreciate it, and I hope you guys kill it at the Elimination Chamber on the 24th. Because let's be real, I've really liked the PLEs because look, I know the American market has been been mostly dominant for years. But just seeing WWE finally, implementing, now obviously they're seeing PLEs, but this time going overseas, guys going like to England, obviously had it, and obviously Wales was actually had a really solid crowd. The Royal Rumble, I'm sorry, but the only one for me out of the big four that really has lost its luster over the years, for me, it's the Royal Rumble. Because I think I said this like the once, I think it was either last week or the week before. I think before. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It was probably after the Royal Rumble. My thing is, look, I don't hate the Royal Rumble, but I was very disappointed in this year's Royal Rumble. I actually had some excitement and hype behind it, but some of these matches that they had on that card just was flat out disappointing, to say the least. I mean, the U.S. title match, let's be real, that I feel like that belt's been kind of been well forgotten, and that you really can't blame it because the fact that let's be, you have one of the best belts on the Raw side of things, which is the ICE Intercontinental Championship, which is held by probably one of the great, currently right now, the greatest Intercontinental Champion that this business has had in a very long ass time. I don't know. I just because especially in terms of the SmackDown side of things, and me and Goldie talked about this, I think yesterday during the NXT Vengeance Day live stream, that I don't think it couldn't hurt to have, or I think it might have been I think for NXT, but I don't think it really couldn't really hurt to have like a light heavyweight champion, bring back the light heavyweight championship, because you got, we look at some of the rosters all across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Like you got guys that are light heavyweights and or cruiserweights. I mean, why not? Now at the same time, does anybody even want to see that come back and not have another mid card belt? Because I mean, at this point, you have Roman pretty much hold that Universal Championship hostage at that point on SmackDown, and the United States Championship. Well, like I said, it's that belt, the U.S. title. I'm sorry, but they should never change the design on it. I'm not now. I'm not really digging like the whole whatever they got going on with the damn belt. Hold on a second. I gotta take my hoodie off because it is a bit hot in here. Be right back. Whew, there we go. Good lord, I was kind of sweating up in here, or baking, or whatever you want to call it. Well, like the match, I could care less for. I guess let's be real. Like I like Ivar, but this I like Sarah Logan as Valhalla, but just I don't know. Like these are the matches I don't really care for. This is what I will call a bathroom break match. Because honestly, like I say, these are the matches I could care less for. Because it's just meh. And Tozawa going, But I'm sorry, but the fact we're getting Cody versus Seth Part 4 should not happen. So let's see, Maxine. 1, 2, no. Honestly, but this match fucking blows. Nice little clothesline. And Gunther later on tonight celebrates 600 plus days. I try to go for a sunset flip powerbomb, but that's not going to work because that's a bit of a mismatch. And the power Ivor, and you're going to get squashed, and bam. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, bathroom break match. And world's. Oh, God, my ear itches. Mr. Jibs, as my buddy Gooley calls the Miz. And of course, we got our truth again. And of course, they got the Finn, Damien, Rhea, and Dirty Dom and R2 t-shirts. And now we got JD McDonough making his way down to the ring. And obviously, JD McDonough is next. And while we get to a commercial break right about now. So far, if I had to give this on a bit of a grade, it's been meh. I'm not going to say meh, but minus that bathroom break match is a decent 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not great. Well, man, oh my god, dude, my ear fucking inches. But yep, let's go see who his opponent. But like I said, mm, 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 mm. Ugh. So far, it's not been a bad show. Like I said, it's not a bad show, but it's definitely not great. Uh, dude, this is why I really hope one of these days Raw goes back to it being a 2-hour show like it wasn't like years ago, like way back in the day. No, I mean, am I the only one that just? Oh, am I? 1 second. Let me try something. Gotta refit it. All right. Let's just see how that works out. Yeah, so pretty much Becky's right now the only qualifier so far, the first qualifier for the women's elimination chamber match. Yeah. So, all right. Come on, USA. What are you doing, you fucking God, I hate technology. We got JD and the Miz. Like I said, another match. I'm sorry, but what does JD have done? That's my biggest thing too. Ever since like his match, obviously getting freaking jokingly screwed at NXT Deadline a couple, I think last year. I'm belled wrong and we're underway. Damn right, JD kind of laying the smackdown early on the Miz. And obviously with Dirty Tommy. Mm. We'll see how about that really goes on, but that's so well. He's oh God. A nice little catapult and to a clothesline turns him inside out. Now with a couple of Muay Thai knee strikes, Irish whip into the corner. And I would see JD with a little bit of an oversell. And out goes JD McDonough to the floor. Oh, and goes over the timekeeper's area. And nice little suplex onto the floor. And now a little taunt. Eh, And Dirty Dom getting involved. Shut no surprise there. Oh, and over the almost go over the table. I got a little Pat McAfee say, "You suck." But I mean, like I said, I'm not really. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. But hey, man, it's oh shit. Honestly, like tonight, I'm not really like this episode. I'm not really feeling it. Like, there's just not. It's been ugh. But good lord. Well, like I said, I don't know if I can make do the entire 3 hours, but maybe two and a half. I'm lucky. Maybe at least 2 hours, 15 minutes at the most. Because let's bro, this episode has not really been. It's not like I said, it's not been terrible, but it hasn't really been great. It's been how do I explain that? It hasn't really been that. It's been meh, in my honest opinion. It's just been super meh. But um, I don't know. Like I don't know. I really do not sure how I really feel on this Raw episode tonight because it's been there. And of course, wow, ring. Yeah, like I said, I might just cut this one short because good lord, like I said, I'm not feeling this episode tonight. Not because I'm not. It's making me bored. Like it's really weird. Yeah, it's been an odd episode, and I'm just not feeling it. It's just like I don't know, but I think after this match, I'm just gonna cut this short if this is gonna be the case because I don't know what we're gonna see as the main event because good grief. And of course, we got the bull rope match. Like I said, I'm really don't care for that because I thought you're gonna have Cody. Well, here comes our truth. Kind of try getting himself involved. And of course, oh, of course, already starting selling the T-shirts. And JD, oh, it needs a face full of knees. And obviously with the X kick, yada yada yada. We don't. 1, 2, no. I don't know, man. It's yeah, at times. Yeah, you ain't wrong. Because like I said, I'm not really feeling this episode. Like, oh, of course, fucking USA just. Oh, nice little basement drop kick. And Miz with a nice boot to Dirty Dom. The main event's pretty much the bull rope match. Oh, and that fucking headbutt by JD McDonough. I'm sorry, but these aren't like for me. I don't. 1, 2, no. And of course, there you go. Skull crushing finale. 1, 2. Easy. That's an easy 3 at the end of the day. Moving on. Yeah, well, I would say go back. Like, if if I were you, I would say look up clips of of Dusty Rhodes like having those types of matches with the bull rope match. Honestly, like I said, that's 2 matches so far in the span of an hour. It's almost quarter to 10. Eh, I got the women's tag team title. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, to finally have a big 3 down in Seattle to hopefully revitalize that basketball team from last year. Even though they should not have allowed the tag belts, but that's besides the point. But like I said, honestly, man, we're not even at the 2 hour mark. Boy, I don't know if I even want to continue with this episode because one of these things I'm going to wind up falling asleep, and one of these I think this episode might just do it. It's going to put me to sleep. But I'm not the kind of person just to call it quits here. I mean, I'm hopefully we'll just get through this. God, how much? What is the card looking like for tonight? Because good grief. And obviously with Braun Breaker. Now let's get interested, dude. Like I said, I'll try not to, because like I said, I here's the thing. I really, and the funny thing is too, the last few streams that I've done, I mean, if you look at the streams over the last since 2021 that I've mostly done, and now obviously when different people I worked with, and probably when I brought Tyler along. The last Raw episode we did, I was so mentally checked out at the third hour, and I'm getting to the point where it's 10 o'clock. I'm pretty sure my 10 o'clock for me at this point is going to be my limit. So honestly, man, like I said, I'm not the kind of person to call any of these wrestling watch parties short, but this might be have to be the only exception, because good God, yeah, I'm not feeling this episode tonight. It's been odd. It's been all over the place. Like I said, I'll try not to. But I don't think we're getting at that cutoff point. Oh Lord. But yeah, like I said, as I said, I don't normally. Oh God, my left freaking eye. But like I was saying, before all that really uh came to pass, I don't normally cut wrestling streams short, but like I said, this is probably going to be the only exception I'm going to have to make, because good grief, I'm legitimately not feeling this episode. Because this is ridiculous, dude. Like oh, good lord. I try not to, but like I said, like I said, we're getting close to that cutoff point, because let's be it's that third. That's what I'm saying. Because right now, 2 hours is the most I can do for when it comes to well, because SmackDown, like I had no problems doing that on Friday. Dynamite, if it weren't so fucking shit, yeah, I would have done that. But Raw, like I said, the problem lies is that third fucking hour, and I will continue to stand on this hill that Raw needs to be 2 hours. You can fit a lot within 2 hours, because good grief, man, dude. If they do that, I'll be fine with that. But I don't know they're gonna do that. There's no way. They've done the first hour being commercial free, but that's pretty much about it. But now it's time for these with the ceremony and stuff like that. Nah, man, I didn't realize it was actually that long for Gunther. Quite honestly, dude, you should have saw my reaction at the end of that Friday Night SmackDown stream. Says it all. Like what? It's basically what the fuck. Well, let's just see what Gunther has to say because this is probably going to be the last thing I'm probably going to do for Raw. Because, like I said, I have not sent through fucking 3 hours of bullshit of a mid Monday Night Raw. But at the same time, though, I didn't realize that Gunther had the belt for over 600 days. But I'm actually kind of happy that he's actually done something with the IC belt for a change. Because I mean, look, I mean, you got to give Miz some credit in 2016 when he carried the belt. Well, and that's just that. Well, true at the same time, and the mid card division on Raw is not really that. It's not great. I will say. Well, that depends. Depends who's gonna be the next guy up. Well, funny enough, well, I'll say this too. Yeah, because and here's the thing too. I remember Raw being 2 hours back in the day, even though it was late nights from like 9 p.m. to 11. But but funny thing is too, RC, he's actually wrestling in TNA Impact under his real name, Oleg Prudis. So there's a little tidbit for you. And here comes main event Jey Uso. Okay, shit just got interesting. Okay, okay, main event Jey Uso. Yeah, you'd be surprised. He's actually looks better than you did in WWE. That's for sure. He's shredded, but Okay. Like, and me and Tart talked about it too, like that Jay Uso could be one of those guys that I think, but I don't know though. And now we got Yeet Chance. And we'll see. And Gunther doesn't like he was too impressed. Of course, fucking USA, man. What the fuck? Of course. Yeah. Then again, I would rather have that than a all-out brawl after a contract signing. That's all I gotta say about that. Yep, pretty much. Mmm. No, the commercials don't make it anything better, too. And like I said, I've never cut a wrestling stream, not that I know of, cut it short. But I think after this, I'm just gonna call because right now I'm just exhausted because this entire episode kind of took me out. Mm. And already, and speaking of rude, not just a rude interruption, now we're seeing a celebration beatdown. And comes the rest of the New Day. Interesting. But so far, I'm probably just gonna watch like some of the rest of the highlights from Raw. But like I said, everyone, that's pretty much gonna do it for me. Because like I said, I don't really cut this shit short. But tonight, it's going to be the exception because without Tyler, it just it really stinks. Outside of that, if you guys make sure to like, subscribe, make sure you share this all out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.